Good morning, friends. This is Alex and Matei, and we welcome you to another episode of DAOnauts, Journey into Web3. Today, we have a different format because we were unable to live stream due to the fact that I am remote. But we'll make it up to you guys with some very interesting subjects. We are going to discuss about Lens protocol, explore how it works, and then we are going to dive a little bit into Aave's stablecoin GHO. So without further ado, let's start this interesting discussion. So what is Lens protocol? Basically, Lens is a composable and decentralized social graph. It allows creators to take ownership of their content wherever they go in the digital garden of the decentralized internet. How does this sound to you, Matej? And maybe let's share a little bit about our first experience with social media platforms.
Yeah, sure. Without really going further into what Lens XYZ is, because we're going to talk about that later. I think that I created my first social media profile when I was about 10, so that's 11 years ago. I think it was a Facebook account, and then an Instagram account followed. But I mean, nothing that compares and is similar to Lens. But what about you?
I think I created my first social media account when I was like 11 or 12, similar to your age, and it was a high five profile. If you remember that platform, it way earlier than Facebook. It was a nice starting point and experience for people that like to connect. And that was the first time I ever sent a DM to a girl. It is actually a very funny story. And then I moved to Yahoo Messenger, if you remember, where I used that to talk with my Web2 friends and connect and like go and play Counter-Strike and stuff. But now it's time to level up, and this is what Lens protocol basically offers. It's different from what we see in Web2, and the interaction create your profile is quite different because it uses blockchain technology. So right now it's in kind of a beta test because it is not available to anyone, to everyone, sorry. And there are some opportunities from time to time to mint a Lens profile. And I think this is a good topic to start exploring the protocol because it started in February, if I'm not mistaken. And in order to gain access to the platform, you had to complete a form or document. I don't remember exactly. And now both of us were able to mint our Lens profiles because there was this NFT collection that was created by Pussy Riot. And if you minted all three of them, or the second one, which came in a limited edition, you could actually get whitelisted and be able to mint a Lens profile.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, both of us minted our Lens profile just like that. But back in February, when you mentioned when Lens started, the document you were talking about was actually an open letter you had to sign before the 5th of May, if I remember correctly. Now, the people who signed it by the 5th of May got their Lens profiles way earlier than us. So it's the middle of July. So yeah, I mean, we're behind, but still there are, I think, about 43,000 Lens profiles. So not a lot when comparing to ENS. So we're still early in the game. But what I really found interesting is that Lens is their current marketing strategy seems to be of semi-exclusiveness because it's not open to everybody. You can just go in and create a profile on your own, but they like to pair this whitelisting process, let's call it, with different NFT launches, such as the Pussy Riot one, where they had 3 NFTs, and the last two, the ones you had to buy with 20 and 300 Matic, were the ones that allowed you to buy to get a Lens profile, and also way more stuff, such as some consensus NFTs, some block work NFTs. So I think it's really in the ethos of Web3 that you pair up with others and work together for something that is indeed the public good, but meanwhile you promote some other things. And for example, Pussy Riot's NFT collection is meant to raise awareness and funds for abortions, right? So I mean, I really like that kind of strategy, but I do think that at some point they need to open up their gates more than they have now.
Yeah, and I think that is not actually there is the time for that has not come yet, because I interacted with all the applications built on Lens, and there are some things that are still not working properly. As I said, it's kind of a beta test right now, and it's very interesting how this works, because whenever you follow someone on Lens, after you mint their profile, you actually have to mint some NFTs. And in order to, whenever you like or save, everything remains post, everything remains on the blockchain, on the Polygon blockchain. And this is very interesting. And I actually saw some posts from people that were typing something like hello to me from 2013. And it's quite interesting, because being on the blockchain, if you delete the post, the signature remains there. So, and this is quite cool, and is something that I liked about. There are
I
some
definitely agree. Just let me chip in here, because I also wanted to share my screen and show the Lens protocol page. Because
yeah, sure.
what's important to mention is that what Lens provides is just the infrastructure, right? It's
Correctly.
it's not just an app in itself. It provides infrastructure for developers to build a decentralized social media apps. And now there are several apps. Lens Friends is built by the Lens team, but there are also others. And you said that you interacted with some of them. We've got Lenster, Favor, Alps Finance, Refract, even Iris, that's where I bought my my NFT from Pussy Riot from. And I think it's really nice that it's open to all, because it's not just building a platform on by yourself, and that's it. You kind of open the gate for everyone to do something cool and for innovation to spread. And I also wanted to share how Lenster looks, because you mentioned, for example, interacting with posts, right? And let's
Yeah.
just say I'm going to collect this post. I can collect it by paying just a very small amount. I mean, you can probably set this, in Matic. You can see how many collectors there are, the revenue they've got when the sale ends, and all that. So I think I really like it in the idea of the ownership, the true ownership economy, because you own both your content whenever you post something, just as you said, because you sign something and it's just there, whether you delete it or not. And you can also own other content, right? I mean, I can collect your post, you can collect my post, and so on.
Yeah, and the very interesting thing is that you can monetize that. You can put a price on your post if people want to collect it, and it's a very nice way of tipping people if you want to do that. And I liked it a lot. I also experimented with Lenster, and like you said, I used the Iris to mint the Pussy Riot's NFTs, and it's a very nice way to even crowdfund and gather funds for a movement and stuff like that. And man, it's just interesting, and I'm really curious how this is going to develop moving forward. And I really liked it that it's on Polygon. I mean, it probably would have been not that popular if it were on Ethereum, because I mean, you have to sign a lot of transaction, you have to do a lot of stuff on chain, and it would have probably been quite expensive. So we're also seeing sidechains and different layers put into practice and actually serving the Ethereum ecosystem. So this is very cool, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because imagine having to pay like $5 just to follow your friend on Ethereum. So now, you need layer to
Correctly. And by the way, guys, if you want to follow us, if you have a Lens profile, you can follow us. I'm shinman.lens, and Matei has venom.lens, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So go ahead if you got a Lens profile and interact. There are also rumors that they are going to start a DAO and maybe even have a token for that. So, I mean, this is a huge opportunity to interact with Web3 and maybe get some ownership in this story if that will materialize. materialize into something. Do you want to add anything else to this conversation
I
before we move
would,
to?
yeah. Just before going to our next subject, I think it's awesome to see how how we are really at the frontier of innovation, where we see such things and we see them built before our own eyes. And although we might get an airdrop, who knows? You might not. I mean, ENS has done so, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the same way with Lens. I think it's really cool just to see how things develop. They might fail, they might not, but just seeing people in action and builders happily building alongside each other and all that, just I don't know, just makes me happy.
Yeah, and what I also want to add here is the fact that the infrastructure, the front end is very familiar, is very friendly, and it's I like this simple format where you are able to just click on a few buttons. We all know blockchain is complicated, and this protocol, the way it is built, allows for people that are not very technical to interact with Web3, and I'm really curious how they are going to develop this further and even improve this.
We've seen how DeFi impacted TradFi, but what nowadays there's lots of talk behind what are the real use cases of crypto and Web3. And I think that decentralized social media can definitely be one of the leaders alongside NFTs, because I think, and quite a bit of people understand NFTs better than they understand DeFi and all that smart contract stuff and impermanent laws, and there are lots more hard things to understand about DeFi than about owning your media and cookies and all that we do with Facebook and Instagram on a daily basis, but now on the blockchain and permissionless.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. And what I like about Lens is the fact that it actually removes that algorithm that we see on social media that can get quite toxic. And we saw this, like we have tons of examples, even with the Trump election. And yeah, man, it's just cool. And I'm really looking forward to decentralized social media. I think we need that in this current age. So now that we explored the Lens, once things are going to develop, we are going to follow up on this and keep you guys updated. And also follow us on Twitter because we are going to share stuff there as well. Let's talk about Aave's GHO, a subject that you also wrote about in our Romanian Pro newsletter. And this is interesting because it makes Aave quite competitive in this regard. So why don't you give us an overview of how this works?
Absolutely. So, I mean, just to give some small background on what Aave is and how it plays into the DeFi market. Aave is the biggest lending protocol. So, and Compound, I think, has about 50% less TVL locked in it. So, Aave is by far the leader in this niche. But what they're doing now is introducing their own. Well, it's a proposal as of today, so it might or might not pass. But as of today, it's a really interesting proposal that is looking to integrate a native stablecoin called GHO. Comes from Ghost. Well, it is sort of funny considering Aave's name and history. So this stablecoin of theirs would be backed by multiple assets and assets that can earn yield, unlike, for example, MakerDAO's DAI that the assets behind are idle. They do not earn yields on them. And so why would this make Aave more competitive? Well, first of all, because whenever you have something that's native to your ecosystem, you can play around with it. You can play around with the incentives. You can play around with what the community wants and see how, for example, they are looking to get 100% of the interest rate payments into the DAO. So that will be, if this passes as it is now, 100% of the interest rate revenue will be a lot for the DAO. And also, if it comes under the form of GHO, it will also diversify their treasury further, and this can obviously be used for innovation, for payrolls, for mergers and acquisitions, and anything that a DAO wants to do with the fund, really. Also, what I like is that it adds value to holding Aave, SDK Aave. So they will get a discount for minting GHO. And this obviously relates to the idea of arbitrage, because you mint it at a discount, then you sell it for a higher price. That's basically arbitrage, and also helps the ecosystem and GHO itself. So basically everyone benefits from it. Now, there are multiple people who say that this might not be the best case scenario for Aave holders, and that there might be some other use cases that are better from this. I'm not sure, because obviously I'm not an expert on the matter, but I do think that what Aave proposes as of today is good enough so they can tinker on it further, and some other time look at it, maybe change some things. But I am really looking forward to Aave's dominance in the market, and maybe even see whether or not in time it will surpass MakerDAO.
Yeah, that's actually a thing that a lot of people are discussing about on Twitter. I saw a lot of posts on that, and it's a good thing because it brings a lot of attention back to DeFi, and this is an interesting time for people to explore this, because we know the SEC is hunting DeFi right now and have their eyes peeled on everything that has the word stablecoin in it. But if you are able to build a stablecoin that is healthy, that is fully backed, collateralized, and does not create a systematic risk to DeFi, I think this is actually going to be a good thing. And I want to see it. I like it because I want to see that we have options when it comes to stablecoin, and we are not limited to like platform or even DAI. And I also like the fact that it enables you can use it on other chains as well. This is a property that they discussed about in the proposal, and I really like it. Like, man, it makes Aave very competitive, and we also have Aave in our index fund. And I think Aave and because we talked about Polygon earlier, and Matic are going to be really good investments in the next bull run. Not financial advice; it's just my opinion. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and I think it will pass without problems. I don't doubt that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I do see it passing in this form. What I want to say is that one of their bets is on GHO increasing on the basis of organic L2 growth. So all the other L2s will have supposedly GHO on them, and I mean that's huge for Aave, because that will be lots of revenue from lots of other chains, and that's amazing for them. Also, some other thing is that the minting and burning system is just the same as in DAI's case. So
Exactly.
you mint it with your token, with your backed assets, then you burn it whenever you pay it back. And yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool. I will keep this episode short, guys, because we have this different format, and we are going to make it up in the next episodes. So I think this is a wrap up. Matei, if you want to add anything to this, now is the time.
No, I mean, I would just add a short question to you.
Yeah, sure.
We've seen DeFi since DeFi summer really decrease in both TVL and USD valuations. Do you think that proposals such as this have a chance of reviving at least a small part of DeFi?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, especially in DeFi, TVLs just going down a lot. And I think this is, as I said earlier, this is a good thing because it brings some attention back to DeFi. Any serious proposal like this is going to receive a lot of attention and be welcomed in this environment. So I don't know how much of an impact will have in the current market state, but I like a lot the fact that it was proposed in this current bear market. It shows it's a sign for me that people are still building and are not caring about the bear market and stuff like that, because they could have chosen way better timing for this. But I mean, yeah, I think it will help a lot. I don't know
Yeah, me too.
how much that will materialize. It's we are going to see, but I like it a lot, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on this proposal, and obviously keep you well updated with what happens.
Cool. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, if you have a Lens profile, to follow us. We promise we'll follow you back. And yeah, it was a very nice episode, and see you guys next time. Peace.